Days later when everything
And
all kicked off, didn't it?
it is mad.
It's all just sort of gone out of proportion, mate. Well,
Joe said Wog 1.
Joe,
Bamford.
well, go on. I'm disappointed though. Bamford's not turned up. He said he doesn't like the sound of his own voice, but he's got.
He's not
Mate,
gonna be hearing it.
are you listening to me? Are you listening to me? I hate the sound of my own voice so much. Joe's got a sexy, silky voice. You need to be on
Come on.
here. I
Yeah,
need to know.
exactly. Finn, you're very quiet. Oh shit, I'll turn him up.
Oh, okay.
No, it's probably me. I'll turn you up.
Nah, everyone says I'm quiet. I don't know why. Actually, I think I might be able to.
There you go, I turned you up.
All right, my is that all right?
Yeah,
I'll have a look.
you're in the yellow. That's good.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, we fix it. We fix it. All right. Was when went on H man. He said he'll be here by 15 past.
Sound.
Oh, yeah, if the Zoom ends, do you want to make a new one or do you want to dip?
Yeah,
It
I
depends
might.
how the topic is.
Yeah. Let's. I reckon. How many topics you got down?
About 3.
Okay, I reckon we go with the flow.
But
Yeah.
obviously the main one is like what's happening right now.
Yeah. Now that's calm though.
Just a little.
I- I'm. I reckon we should just go with it. Like if we're feeling like it's calm to end it, then yeah. But if everything's in full flow, I reckon we should restart it. Like
Yeah,
maybe.
because I don't know how long I've been doing this one, so as in I don't know when I invited you to this one.
Oh, okay. Yeah, fair enough.
No worries.
Maybe we could.
I was gonna
Yeah.
restart. I don't know. Want to restart now until Herbie joins, so then we can all restart together.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I'll wait until he joins. So
Also, just remember, like, be careful restarting it on stream and that.
yeah, of
Just
course. Yeah,
showing the
I'll
password and that.
yeah. Yeah. I get. We'll just start out Herbie and he'll join in.
All right, cool.
15 past. Well, obviously, yeah. First topic. We're talking about coronavirus. That's the main one.
Mad.
How's your quarantine been? What have you been doing?
Well, you know me, man. Like,
Have you been sticking
computer,
to the guidelines, eh?
100%. Like, I'm not. Actually, that's not true. So I went out the first time I left quarantine. Um, I know. So it's like emergency shopping only.
Yeah.
Emergency shopping only. Um, but we had no beer. And
Oh,
I was desperate. I know it's so bad. I was desperately in need for beer. So I waited like literally 10 minutes until my local Sainsbury's closed. I drove up. There was barely anyone there, but like so in Tesco's, right? Apparently
which
they've
one?
got screens.
Wait, which Tesco?
I don't know, just like in general. I saw an
Okay.
ad of a Tesco ad, and apparently they have screens to protect the cashiers, and there's like markings for like social distancing and that. Went in Sainsbury's, right?
Yeah.
So there obviously, so there was where they would put the queue.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
like where people would queue and that, and there was like a sign saying, please, adhere to social distancing measures and that kind of thing. But in terms of actual precautions, there was like barely anything. There was no screen for the cashier. Like they weren't like there were no like lines telling me to stand back. So like I was kind of just like it felt a bit weird. Like felt like people because I feel like a problem you can fall into is if I feel like people feel awkward adhering to social distancing when it should be the opposite. Like if everyone goes for it, then it's just going to be it's way safer, and no one's
Literally,
going to
yeah.
feel awkward about it. So I felt it was a bit weird. And I was like walking past people, like trying to put space between us, and they like clearly just weren't bothered. And I'm just thinking, like, I get that, like, you might be confident you've not got symptoms, and I might be confident I've not got symptoms. But as everyone knows now, like, it can stay dormant for like you can not show symptoms for up to 2 weeks, which is pretty mad. So
Yeah, that's
the fact
scary.
that people are still going about in supermarkets, especially like public places, people are in there coughing about all the time,
Literally.
and they're not doing anything about it. It seems a bit crazy.
Yeah, what really annoys me is when I was literally looking outside, you got families walking around still. This is like 2 days ago. I
For
saw a
real.
family walking around. I saw old people. I'm like, what is going on? They don't take it serious.
Nah, they don't. I see. Oh, so I went on like a walk just to,
Yeah,
because
that's
obviously like we don't get much time
yeah,
outside.
yeah.
So I was I just wanted to go see. Like it was just as the sun was setting, and I was like, all right, the park will be quiet. So it was pretty quiet. Like I only saw like 4 or 5 like pairs of people, but
Yeah.
there was still a like family. There was these 2 kids, right? Two like it must have been brother and 2 brothers, right? Like
Yeah.
probably like 13 and 8, just playing footy. And
What?
I was thinking like as a parent, would you, especially at that time as well, like being like, all right, yeah, go to the park by yourselves, just have fun, like don't worry about it, just then they're not going to understand precautions of social distancing. They're not going to understand any of it, and they're just going to go about and just do whatever they want. I feel like that was a bit. I feel like so some people are just. It really this sort of scenario really highlights irresponsibility in some people, doesn't it?
Literally. Like,
Like,
yeah. You can see it. You see it a lot of the time. I saw a news article say actually where there was a family that caught having a party, and the police arrested them.
oh,
Did you see
Derby,
that?
yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
Derby,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I thought, what idiots! Like, no wonder so many people are gonna get it.
Literally, what is going through these people's heads? Do you think they actually like sit down and they're like, right, Janet, I'm actually aching for a party. Let's get all the neighbors around. Let's get all the friends around. And those people are like, oh yeah, Sal, let's go, let's go. Let's all just spread germs. It's calm. Like in a full on lockdown, you've got to think that the only thing that you could possibly entertain is that nobody from that group has access to the news. Like that is the only solution.
But it's
They just
been
not.
going around for months. Like, it's not
I
something
know.
new. It's
I
just
know,
annoying
literally.
because it affects us as well. Because then it delays us getting out.
Yeah,
If everyone just listens and adheres to what's going on, we'll be fine.
yeah, but the likelihood of that happening was never really gonna be great. Like as a people and a culture, British people
Just don't like it.
we just don't like following that kind of
They
we
love
don't
being
like that we
rebels.
don't
Like,
yeah like the strict guidelines.
oh, it's H
Oh,
man. Let's go. Can you
hey,
hear us?
Okay. Yeah, I can.
Let's go.
hey,
You've joined
How's
the
it going?
topic of Corona.
Well, that's very topical.
it is
saying.
pretty topical.
We were just talking
We
about
were just,
how. Oh, you go, you go.
No, go on.
nah,
Oh, we're just
that's
talking about how
Spence.
we're just seeing so many irresponsible people not adhering to what Boris was saying.
Or like with your own eyes, or
Yeah, and
on
just
Instagram.
on the news as well. Like people walking around, like Finn gave an example playing football and stuff.
Yeah.
We're just saying it's just so irresponsible for us as well because it's just delaying us going out after lockdown,
Yeah.
if you know what I mean. So
I mean,
lockdown's
it's
just gonna keep
annoying.
going.
Yeah. And well, but my worry is that like, is that going to mean they're going to have to enforce it more strictly? Like like with
Yeah.
police like marching about
Yeah.
and stuff. That's the thing. Like, if people can't take it upon themselves to like follow the rules, and
Yeah. But what more can they do? Like, let's say they have police. They don't have that many police to march every
No,
shift.
I was thinking again, get the army out in the streets. I was genuinely thinking we were going to end
Yeah.
up in a point where we're going to have armed soldiers just watching the streets. Like obviously not sort of like a military lockdown, but just people watching, making sure the rules are enforced.
Yeah, I think like that's probably more likely to happen in like London or something than it is here.
100%.
Yeah.
But like if you look at like in Europe and stuff, I mean, I remember I saw a video in like I think it was the Canary Islands, and there was the police were just driving around in a car all the time, and like if you think they could fine you like 25k if you left, or stuff like that. Like that's the sort of thing that they could
Jeez.
bring in, and I'm just scared that that's what would like we shouldn't need that. That's the thing. So I hope that we don't get to that point.
Yeah. Definitely hope not.
Well, my mate Darren, he lives in the countryside. He just said he goes out as well, and he goes for like long walks and stuff. But he lives in like countryside, as in no one's near him. So he just goes. I think that's acceptable because
That's fine. Yeah.
yeah, it's just like
I think-
towns and cities who need to chill.
Plus, like going out, like Boris said, going out for your exercise, going out for a walk, walking the dogs.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to do it. But as long as you're like not being dumb, as long as you're following social distancing and you're not doing anything stupid, being in a crowded place or going with like a massive group of people, I don't see anything wrong with that. Like if you're in the countryside and there's for a fact that you're not going to run into like 100 people on the walk, and that is just like multiplying the chance of spreading it even further, then I'd say it's not that big a deal. But it's just the problem comes when it's in more urban areas and it's just these big groups of people that just clearly have no regard for it.
Literally.
Yeah, I mean, like I'm happy to admit that I'm still cycling.
Yeah.
Around. I mean, I do go out into the countryside, and I literally won't go within 2 meters of anyone that's not in a car. So
Yeah,
it's not.
that's perfect. That's
Yeah.
fine.
But
Yeah.
I'm still aware. Like even if I like for example, today when I came back, I cycled through like Farnham town centre, and you're still aware. Like I don't know. Like you feel personally, like I feel sort of a bit watched, and I guess that's a good thing. And that's why I don't understand why certain people maybe don't feel like. I just feel like if you're not following what we're supposed to be doing, how can you not feel like you're letting other people down? I don't know. because I was just, you do notice it, like.
I think we need that group like
Yeah, no,
collective
sure.
thought
Yeah.
though, for sure. Because I think if there isn't that sort of almost social pressure on people to act this way and follow the rules in this, like, we're in a pandemic. It's not like a slight risk. It's not like we're taking a 50-50 chance or a 110 chance. Like, it's a pandemic. You should be locked down. You should be extremely conscious of like where you're going, who you're with. Like, all these, like, especially our age and people below our age, even more, just meeting up with mates, just like, because like, everyone understands that lockdown's not fun and you want to meet up with people, but there's people who are still out there going and meeting up with mates and still having, like, nights where they just like go out and socialize, like not even with a big group, 'cause that's how they justify it. It's just a few friends. But it doesn't really matter, because the whole point is that everyone's got their own web of connections, and as soon as you cross the webs, like, everyone within the web has the risk of getting it. That's the whole point. Like, everyone's got to look after their own web.
No,
Yeah,
sure.
I agree. What's scary though is that we're not even near the peak. Like, as in, every day it's just getting worse and worse, and it's just, after looking at the numbers today, there's a little like YouTube stream.
Yeah.
I've been looking at this every day. It's like a little like 24-hour stream, just updates the case every time. And USA has been getting like a minimum 30K a day.
Oh my god,
They're
dude, they've got
160. Yeah,
160,000.
that's like, it's still multiplying daily, and
They're
that's
doing really badly. Yeah.
yeah. And if people look at these numbers and don't get scared, it's just annoying, because they're just putting themselves at risk, and they put us at risk, because they're going out doing what they want to do. They may have it, but it's dormant in them for a bit. Then they're spreading it to other people without them knowing they have it. It's just an endless cycle.
Yeah, for sure.
What do you guys think about the China numbers though? I think that's a little bit fishy. I think it doesn't go from like stops to completely. I think that they're hiding something.
I don't know. I feel like I think they probably have turned the tide, which is great. But I think, I mean, that does seem too low, especially if you look at America and they're getting like over 100K.
Yeah, literally.
Like, what was China, like 85 or something?
They're currently
China's 81.
Yeah, 81.
Okay, so
and they haven't moved in 2 weeks, week and a half.
Yeah, and I feel like they are getting there, but I think that number's probably too low. Either because they haven't tested people or because they're covering it up. I don't know.
I agree. I think it's got to be both. You think of a place like USA that just has just a sheer number of people in it, and then you think of China's like the sheer number of people in China, and especially the sheer number of people that are concentrated into such a small area. Like, there is no way that there's only 80,000 cases. That doesn't work out. It doesn't work out. And it's funny because I saw some news this week. They were like, so China were like, oh yeah, we've got no new reported cases. They reopened the cinemas for like literally one day, because as soon as they started reopening, like, they relaxed the measures just a little bit. All the cases just surged up, but they're obviously, like, there's something that they're not going to report to us. I feel like they're just not reporting the correct numbers. That it can't be right. It can't be right. It's too low.
Well, I'm just thinking compared to Italy, because they did a lockdown. Italy's been in lockdown for over a month, and China's done the same. Italy's numbers are literally getting worse and worse still, and they're in lockdown.
Yeah, I mean, 100,000 cases in Italy.
There's no way
80,000 in China. Like, we understand that China's got that government, the potential and the power in the government to enact these super strict measures in such a short time, because we know that's what China can do as a nation. But there's a point where that sort of like those measures can only do so much, and I just don't believe that with how long that people were allowed to move around freely, that they've only got 80,000 cases.
Yeah, I've just been linked here. Apparently, we have got a fine in our country for going out. It's £60. Yeah.
Okay.
And then 120 for second offence. Yeah, it's not 25K.
Yeah.
What? So
I feel like no, go on.
No, you can't have it. I've not even watched.
I don't know. I feel like I've heard reports of is like, I've seen a few videos of like police turn up to parks in London and stuff and sort of using like a loud hailer and just being like, guys, you got to leave. I don't feel like there's much enforcement. It's mostly just like police dispersing people a bit, like, I mean, that's and if that works, then that's great. Obviously, you don't want to have to introduce more like draconian, scary stuff.
Yeah.
but it might get to a point where you have to, be putting on big fines or arresting people or whatever.
I
don't know.
100%. I 100% back that up because
Yeah.
there's got to be a line. I was thinking about it the other day. So there's got to be a line when you've got to take your resources and you've got to take the lives of the country. So as a government, so people that are in control of a country, their primary, like absolute first duty, look after the citizens, right? There's got to be a point when you've got to start realizing that more serious measures need to be put in place. Like there's resources out there that need to be used for this before it all snowballs out of proportion. Like in Italy, they closed all the hotels now, and they're using them to keep all the patients in. And I saw this. I don't know how true this is, but I saw on a video on Facebook that apparently, they've got no respirators left. Like there's just no equipment.
Yeah.
And if 10 people turn up in critical condition, and 5 of them are old and 5 of them are young, they just straight up have to say
Yeah, I saw that
to
as
the
well.
old people, like, sorry, like nothing we can do.
And that's the brutalness of this disease. Like it's just gonna get worse and worse.
Yeah.
I think Italy's struggling a lot because they have like one of the biggest aging populations as well. So there are just loads of old people that probably live quite close to each other and see each other a lot before the lockdown. So that doesn't help. But yeah, obviously, I mean, and it's nice in a way that we've had like what they're saying, we're like 2 or 3 weeks behind Italy. So at least we can look at them and sort of learn from what they're doing, right?
Yeah.
Hence why we're getting more ventilators made and everything.
Yeah.
But it's still scary. Yeah.
It's just like, it's all that idea, can we keep up with the demand? Like, is it going to work out? Have we done the numbers right? Like, have they been calculated right? Or is it going to work out, or are we going to end up like behind the curve, and then it's just going to we're never going to be able to catch up? Like, that's the worry.
Well, Germany have done something because I always thought Germany had like the biggest aging population in Europe.
They've got a big one.
Because they somehow managed to keep their deaths pretty low compared to Italy.
They've got Germany's got one of the highest numbers of like intensive care beds.
Is it?
Capita
Okay.
Europe. Like it's miles ahead.
That's quite interesting, actually.
So that definitely helps. Like compared to the UK, they're doing a lot better in terms of intensive care.
I mean, they're doing crazy. They got 66,000 cases and 600 deaths, and we've got 22,000 cases and nearly 1,500 deaths.
Yeah, I think that's probably what it's down to.
That's pretty interesting. I didn't know that. Damn.
But then again, these numbers are just sort of, they're not 100%, are they? You just got to take them with a grain of salt as well. These are just little averages.
It's just ideas, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, you're never gonna truly know what's going on, especially when we're like we say, like when you're talking about China, you can't say for a fact.
Did you see what one of the presidents I think it was Belarus said yesterday or Sunday?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
I did see that.
he said he just not going to do anything about Corona. He said was it parties and vodka or something?
Vodka and saunas or
vodka
something.
and saunas, that was it. Yeah, vodka and saunas will solve it. There's no restrictions.
But Belarus is nuts. Belarus, like they do a ridiculous amount of like executions every year and stuff. Like it's
really,
it's mental.
Really,
like, yeah. But it's the only football league in Europe that's still running.
Oh yeah, no, I saw that.
Yeah, so trip to Belarus is on the cards.
I thought they're not. Are they not part of the EU then, as in like the European Union? There's no way they would be allowed to do executions.
Yeah, I do think they are actually.
I was gonna say you can't.
No, I do think they're quite rogue. Yeah, I do think they are.
You know that I saw one thing I saw sweep like Instagram especially that I thought was quite amusing. There was this report that Russia had released 500 lions onto the streets to basically force people to stay home. Like people were actually believing it. Like, oh, Putin doesn't fuck around. Like, oh yeah. And I'm just looking at him like, you cannot truly believe that he has sourced 500 lions and released them onto the street. Like, to be fair though, like it's quite interesting when you think. Like, I don't know about you guys, but I've not like heard anything about what Russia's doing to cope with it. Like, and I've not really heard any sort of information about how they're coping with it. And now I'm tempted to look up the numbers actually.
Yeah, I mean, our news is always biased to us, isn't it? So, what's their numbers?
I mean, it says they've only got 1,800 cases, and there's only 9 deaths. But then again, it's like one of those situations like China. Are they reporting the numbers?
Exactly, yeah.
But it's also very like sparsely populated.
Yeah, there's
very
going to
true.
be
You
people
could
that
have,
aren't even
like-
in contact.
Right, in Moscow, or whatever, you probably have a few, but in like Siberia, nobody
Yeah,
sees each other. Why would
literally.
So
Yeah,
I feel
like
like
gonna
they're
be.
probably better off in a way.
Yeah, probably that's probably right. To be
Also, their
fair.
climate as well, right? They get in the minuses, like quite deep in the minuses.
Yeah.
Heaven, the further
Less people
obviously,
are going to be
like,
outside,
further-
right?
Yeah.
Less chance of it
So
spreading.
that's a good point.
So
Yeah, true.
then again, they're probably
But
used to
then-
the weather, aren't they? Or used to climate.
You would have thought. so.
Yeah.
Hmm. I think what's interesting, going back to the social media thing, is that, like, obviously there's been big pandemics and stuff in the past, but there's never been one really that has like been viewed through the lens of social media.
Yeah.
So let's say, like, I don't know, Spanish flu or whatever, like 100 years ago,
Mm.
you wouldn't be hearing about, or not much about, what's happening in China, or you wouldn't be seeing videos on Facebook from,
Yeah.
wherever in the
Yeah.
world. So it just means it's so, like, everyone's so much more like in the loop, and you hear so much more information from around the world, which is
Do you think?
it's pros and cons. I don't know.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, do you think that's a good thing or a bad thing?
Mm.
Like, because I feel
Um,
like it weighs up lots of problems.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I think it probably does produce more panic and like hysteria when you see, like, I don't know, videos of like some makeshift hospital in China or whatever.
Yeah.
But equally, it's, it does mean people are like getting more informed, and it's good to not just think about the UK and realize that this is like a much wider thing and stuff like that. But it's, I
Yeah.
don't know. There's so much like misinformation as well, which is always bad.
Yeah, I think that's the problem when everyone's got equal, like on social media, obviously everyone's got equal rights and everyone's got an equal voice, and stuff can go viral just from being posted at the right time, viewed by the right people, shared by however many people. And it's just crazy that one random person who might have absolutely zero knowledge on pandemics, on anything to do with this disaster, might be able to spread information on such a wide scale
Yeah,
that
for sure.
millions of people could be completely misinformed.
Mm.
I think that's kind of scary in a way, because I feel like that's happening a lot. Like there's a lot of just sort of panic inducing content and a lot of just scaremongering going on online.
And obviously that's always happened, but now in the age we live in with social media, which everyone has access to, like, maybe, I don't know, 100 years ago, you might tell your mates and they might panic and they might tell their parents, but it would stay like in your town or whatever. Whereas now you can tweet it or whatever,
Well
and it
spread,
just
yeah.
gets spread so quickly. And yeah, I never found out, like, do you remember that thing about, there's a story that you shouldn't treat it with ibuprofen? Did you read that?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's actually been, I heard a rumor that was actually just complete
Yeah, so
bullshit. I don't know.
I heard loads of stuff about it. So first, I think they said like, oh, the French. So there was this, because that's the thing. This is one of those things. So it was it was like a tweet or something. This woman was saying, oh, just so people know, the French government have been telling people not to take ibuprofen because anti-inflammatory drugs make it way worse. And then suddenly there's news from the UK saying, no, that's not true, it's fine. And then I see other people saying, oh, now I'm getting recommendations from my GP and from nurses to not take it. And it's just like this level of this confusion and of what's right and what's wrong could just we just get lost by reading between the lines. Like there's too much content out there to actually keep stuff in its binary state of true or false. You can't actually manage it all.
Yeah, here we Joe just linked me an article from on our government website. It says ibuprofen use and coronavirus. There's no strong evidence with it.
And it may well be true that
Thanks, Joe.
It may well be true, but it hasn't been proven. Like, it's just something must have happened somewhere, maybe in France, and it's just blown up from there. But like, I guess we're not going to prioritize testing whether or not it does have a negative impact. But yeah, it's a weird
pretty
one.
much.
I've also been sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say because there's a similar sort of thing. So I had a few of my mates. So I didn't see it on social media as much until I looked it up specifically, but they were talking about the fact that there was this symptom of loss of taste and smell, like for coronavirus.
Yeah, I heard about the smell thing. Yeah.
Yeah, so because it was really weird, because I had a mate in Cardiff who claimed that she had coronavirus and she was like self-isolating, quarantining, everything, and that's one of the symptoms she had. And then my mate, who was also in Cardiff, said that he's lost his sense of taste and smell, and I was like, oh, I heard that could have been a symptom, but like we looked it up, we couldn't find anything like definitive or from like a reliable source, so it was just a bit sort of in the blue. But this was a week ago now, and he's self-isolating obviously, but he's still he's doing fine. He's not got it, so it's just
You could well just have any old virus, you know. Like,
yeah,
that's
that's
the
the
thing,
weird thing.
because the symptoms, especially for young people, are pretty much the same as most flus and viruses.
Yeah,
Like,
just normal seasonal flu and
yeah,
like
yeah. Which is so when they're talking about getting these testing kits out that you can like order to your house soon, which would be interesting because like people might do it and it turns out they've had it and they didn't know or whatever.
yeah.
Like and that'll be really useful. But
Is that coming? I haven't read anything about
yeah,
that.
I heard. I think my mum was saying that like the government are doing a deal with Amazon, so Amazon will like sell them and they'll be cheap and you can just
Yeah,
get one and test yourself. Takes a
that's
few
pretty.
hours.
Actually, oh wait, no, I think I did see something. Someone developed it really cheaply, didn't they? And then they were just gonna sell it off
Yeah.
to everyone. Yeah, okay.
That's the one where you put down your nose, right? Like all the way to the back of your throat through your nose. Is that the one? That's what I
Somebody did
saw.
say that. I heard. I
I
think there's also it might be a pinprick instead on your finger.
because
I
I've
I don't
seen
know.
I've seen the doctors do that to the patients
Yeah,
in the hospital. I
that
was
is
like,
grim
whoa.
actually. Yeah.
Nah,
no
I'm
offense to
taking a
that.
pinprick. I'm taking a pinprick. Or
Yeah.
I just won't get one. Like I'm fine. I'll just keep self-isolating. I'm not worried.
Literally. Yeah, also in
Yeah.
India, apparently they've been like beating people when they're on lockdown. They've been beating the actual people, citizens, the police. So police
Oh,
they're allowed to
like
beat.
brutality, just to
Yeah, as
enforce it.
in to enforce the restrictions. It says here the police are literally just beating them with sticks and stuff. 'Cause if people are
Jeez.
outside,
Mm.
which
I
is
saw a bit of that from Italy as well.
this is
Might not have been
insane.
true, but yeah. Yeah.
And I think I saw it was on Twitter as well. There was this guy that was claiming to travel to I think it was Mumbai or something, or um, and he was like, "Oh yeah, I got off the plane. There was no, there was no sort of enforcement of social distancing. There were no like temperature. They didn't take anyone's temperature. There wasn't any sort of checks on passengers coming off flights. This is ridiculous. How do you not expect this to spread throughout the country?" And then the airport just like atted him and was just like, "Actually, mate, we've got your records of your tests right here. Like, here's your temperature test. Like, here's your like whatever test."
Mm.
And like, so obviously, there's people out there that are purposefully just trying to build a storm of anger or just trying to spread complete misinformation just for the sake of it, just like
Mm.
troublemakers.
Literally, yeah.
Yeah.
How are you guys doing for like cash and stuff? Because obviously you can't do any work. You can't do anything.
I mean,
Because
the way
obviously
I see it, like, I mean, I'm basically not going to buy anything for the next however many months. Like,
true,
I'm not going to pay rent. I'm not paying for my own food because I'm living at home.
true.
So for me, like, I'm fine. Like, I'm making money. Well, I'm certainly not losing it.
Yeah,
Obviously, that's different for most people who are or who have a job or are self-employed or whatever.
yeah,
But for me, it's all right.
I've got a bit of a tricky one because I pay rent in like tri-monthly installments of like almost $1,000.
yeah,
So and then we pay like bills monthly. But so it was just last week that we had a payment. So I had to just send out $1,000 just of rent, just like that. And then we obviously like before that we had emailed um the landlord and we were like, hi, just just sort of just to check, because obviously things are binded in contracts, but you just want to check because there was some people were getting away with less rent, or some people were getting away with not paying rent whilst they weren't, especially in halls. But obviously, like, I live in a house, so it's all through like a private thing, so I had low expectations. But we basically just emailed them. We were like, look, obviously they knew we were all uni students. We were like, okay, we've all gone home because of the pandemic, and it's so for some people like it's real trouble like getting money together. Basically, is there any way we could sort of lower the rent whilst we're all away? And they were basically just like, oh, I'm really sorry, we just can't. Like, people have like there's people's livelihoods are depending on this money. I'm just like, all right, it's fair enough, but then you know I've got quite a lot of other stuff going on as well. Like, I've got to keep my car insurance going, ticking over. I just told Spencer I had to pay for my MOT so I could get home, and had to like pay for car repairs to get home. And I've also got my house for next year. I've just had to pay the deposit on. So like, it seems like it's like for me, just personally, just quite a bad time for stuff. So like, I feel like I've got a lot coming out the bank account right now, but obviously it's so much worse for people who depending on money to come in from jobs that they now can't go to, or people who are saying they can't go to. The worst thing is when they they feel like they have to go, or people that have been showing symptoms just go to work anyway, because they
Oh yeah.
just cannot afford to miss a day. Like, they just cannot, so they have to go, and then it causes this whole thing where, obviously everyone at work's got it now, and they'll not be able to work at all physically, and then their income stops, and it's all just it's absolute chaos, mate. It's absolute chaos.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, like the stuff I haven't been following it that closely, but some of the measures that the government are suggesting look positive. I don't know how easy it is to claim this money if you're like a small business or whatever.
Yeah, definitely.
But the issue with it is that it is, billions and billions of pounds, and it does mean that we
Yeah.
are going to have some kind of recession, basically,
Yeah.
like globally. So
Yeah.
even once we've once we've dealt with the virus and people are getting better, we're going to have that for another few years afterwards as well. Especially at a
Yeah.
time when we're looking for jobs as well and for houses,
Yeah.
and
it's not good.
It's not ideal, but I won't worry about that for now. Get
Nah,
over it
yeah,
first.
Got to
yeah, it's
survive
one of
the
those things you got
pandemic.
to put. Yeah, survive the
Obviously,
pandemic.
people's lives are more important than money, right? So like
Yeah.
prioritize that. But
Yeah.
back in my mind.
Yeah, it's quite. Well, I'm part of the Boris announced the a small business give out. They're paying out 80%, I think, of our wages.
Mm.
So I got an email today or a call from like the big boss. Like the big boss called me on my phone.
Really?
And yeah,
Nice.
apparently we're one of the only catering companies in the whole UK that are actually paying the employees. Most of them just laid them off.
Right.
Really?
So we've had to sign like another contract in a way, so we can actually get paid. But obviously, since I work for events, I can't work. We're not working for at least 3 months. But we've been given. Obviously, they're working out our average pay over the year and paying us per month, which is pretty cool.
That
But
is
it does
pretty sick.
mean like we have no work for. He said like it sounded like minimums for 3 months, probably 6 months, and that's a long time.
Jeez.
Obviously,
Yeah.
the benefit is I get like money for it. I get like 200 a week if that. But like you
Damn.
said, I'm not spending it, am I? So it's gonna be racking up, which is good.
Yeah. But events, like, I don't know, the whole events industry.
That's what I mean.
There's going to be
Events,
so many little, maybe not companies like yours, but I don't know, like little food chains or cafes
exactly.
or
Yep,
whatever that
exactly.
just aren't going to survive because
Yeah.
how can you?
It's actually going to cause such like a economic you think about it, the only companies that are going to be able to stay afloat are those big multi-million, multi-billion dollar companies that have such wide reach across the world.
Yeah,
And then
that's scary.
all these sort of like all the high street shops, like all that sort of homegrown stuff, that's all just going to have to be shut down. Like, so, and as it is, that stuff was already dying out, like they've got that whole thing with like save the high street, instead of going on Amazon, just go down the local shop and try and buy something there instead. But that's basically just out the window now, isn't
That's
it?
gone. Yeah, there's no chance they can survive.
I don't know. I mean, the only hope would be that like once we are free to go, people will spend lots and do lots, and people are going to go to the pub or go abroad, or I don't know, like people are going to want to spend their money they haven't been spending.
Yeah, 100%.
That's the only possible like thing to look forward to, I guess, for those sort of people. But obviously, yeah, and it's scary to think that you're right. Like the big companies are the ones that have like the reserves and that can therefore get through it, and that's scary.
Yeah. Have you seen about the rent as well and the mortgage? How they're freezing that? Did that not affect you, Finn?
Nah.
Really?
No.
How come?
I don't have a mortgage.
Yeah, but it was rent as well. They said they're freezing some sort of rent. I didn't read into it.
I don't think it was like that. I think it was. I read that it was something to do with the mortgage, something to do with mortgages, but I didn't. Not that I read anyway that there was anything to do with rent. I think just standard people who are just renting from a landlord, that has to carry on. You can't just sort of not do it. I know, but like, I mean, there's not much you can do, is it? Because there's too many lines that money leads to, like
exactly.
the company and the people that work there and the families there. Like, it just comes down to the money. Someone has to pay it. And I'm not kicking off. Like, obviously, I still have to pay rent. I signed a contract. Like, I could live in my house right now. I could live in my house in Cardiff right now if I want to. I mean, obviously, probably
You legally
not.
can't get there.
Yeah, like I could probably get there and I could stay there, but actually, like legally, not really. But that's the thing. Like, I made a decision to come home, didn't I? Like, at the end of the day, I made the decision. I'm happy that I made the decision because obviously, I wouldn't have had that many resources, and being in a big city, panic buying is even more like frivolous. Like everyone's going out to the supermarkets that are close to me, and just buying everything they can up. So there's not much I could have done. I've got the money to pay for the rent, so I mean, I'll be fine. Like it's not a biggie.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Josh Langham dropped a bomb. He's the rent is only you can't be evicted during the lockdown. So the next 3 months you can't
Is
be
that it?
evicted. Yeah. Which is fair enough.
Yeah.
How would that work though? Would that mean that if you just choose not to pay rent, you wouldn't get evicted, but the rent would just obviously stack up. Like you'd
That'd
have
be
to pay.
even worse.
Yeah, you just have to have
Because
a
you can't
long
work
payment.
either. So people that it's gonna affect so many people.
I mean, like I think Italy, for example, definitely did freeze rent.
They freezed
and
everything,
mortgage
didn't they?
payments.
I thought they freezed a lot.
They went ham, I think.
Yeah, they freeze
they
it in
basically,
most things.
yeah, but
Maybe that will happen over here in time. Like Herbie said earlier, we're a few weeks behind Italy.
yeah,
Things could get much further out of hand, and then more desperate measures might have to be called upon. Never really know until it happens.
Yeah, Darren said I got released from my uni hall's contract for leaving early.
Yeah, there's people. Yeah, that's a thing for sure. There's been a whole load of people who have basically. So in Cardiff, the last term instalment of people who went to the Cardiff uni hall, so the Cardiff halls, so not private halls, but people who lived in the Cardiff uni halls, they were refunded their last payment basically.
Really?
Or like they basically just said okay, because what's happening actually over there is they're using those halls as basically overfill from Cardiff Hospital.
No way.
Hospitals
Wow.
nearby. Yeah, so they're gonna basically they said if needs be, clear out your room because we're gonna use it as emergency patient
Yeah.
keeping patients there because the hospital's just down the road, so they kind of it seems like and it's a good decision really. Like it's a whole load of rooms in a really small area, makes sense.
Perfect.
Yeah, good use of resources.
Yeah, Joe also got his rent back as well. Apparently, some halls rent back.
Yeah. I think if you're in halls, you're better off. Like I'm not paying rent next term because they don't want us there. Obviously, it's if you're in the if you're renting privately, that's when you're more exposed to like.
Yeah, so I've kind of been shafted because renting
bit.
privately, and then I'm also arranging to rent privately next year. So it's all not ideal, but what can you do?
Did you guys have any gym memberships at all?
Yeah.
So have you been emailed at all about that?
This is great. So I think it was the day that they announced like they were shutting gyms. My mum, because like me and Edie were gonna my sister were gonna go to the gym, and she literally like arranged us to get a membership that day.
No.
Came to the membership, and then that evening they said gyms are shut. So
what?
That's quite funny. Nah.
I don't think I think you'd have to pay for it until like the end of the month or something. So
yeah, I'm quite devastated because obviously like I got into a bit of I'd been going quite a bit just because it was just a nice thing to do in it, and then obviously when it all kicked off, I just stopped.
Yeah.
So the point I've got a 9-month membership. So it started in September. And then it just goes on for 9 months. But then obviously for that so it goes on for 9 months because that's the time that I'm actually at uni for, right? So it was like a student deal because they know that people aren't going to be there over the summer.
Yeah.
But and then they just emailed me. They're like, oh yeah, we're shut. Don't worry. All the time we're shut. We're adding that onto the end of your membership, and I'm just like, what's the fucking point? I'm not there.
Oh, I
see.
be
there.
Yeah.
Because it's just going to extend into summer now.
Yeah, sure.
And I'm just not going to be able to use it. So kind of pointless. I'm thinking because me and my house, like a lot of us have the same membership at the same gym. We're like, okay, might just message them and be like, could I just have the months refunded instead? Because it means nothing to me to have an extension.
Literally.
Yeah. Well, what are you two doing for exercise then at the moment, if anything?
I've been just doing like push-ups, daily push-ups, doing the plank as well. I haven't been doing any leg workout though. I feel like
working the core,
working the arms, shoulders. I haven't been doing legs though. I'm struggling to find like a good. I have no weights here at all.
You just got to do squats, bro. You just got to do squats
all day.
Squats and calf raises. Just getting up on your tippy toes. and then back down, and like
What, on the ledge as
that's
well, on like a stair?
doesn't matter, like just on the ground, just like stand up on the tippy toe, hold it, and then back down, like just keep repeating that. Like obviously it's not going to be a replacement for like like obviously Herbie cycling sounds like a plan,
That's
because you know
perfect.
you're
Yeah.
getting a full workout, full body workout, and it's still feasible. Like it's not like he's putting himself or others at risk, so go
Yeah,
for it.
no, I'm
But
really lucky
it's
to have that. Yeah.
yeah, but I mean I've just got, I mean I do this pretty much the same as Spencer, just inside workout. Like I've not got a lot of space in my house at all, but so it's like it is really testing that whole, is it possible to do it in your own house thing. But it is, you know, there's so much stuff online, you know, how
Yeah,
to do
I
workouts
just
at home.
think
So
I don't know. I'd say it's harder to motivate yourself than if you're
Oh,
like going
100%.
to a gym or whatever. Like,
literally 1,000,000%.
it's just not comparable. I think, and I don't. That doesn't necessarily matter. I feel like it's just you just want to keep up like a little bit of base fitness and not just become like a slug and not do anything for 3
Yeah.
months. So
I think I 100% agree though, because I feel like, so just going to the gym, you know, it's a dedicated time to, and once you're at the gym, there's nothing else to do. But when you're at home, just sometimes you're just sat on the sofa and you're like, oh, it's time for the exercise, and you're just like, I could just watch an extra episode. And it's just one of those, I feel like a lot of people are going to end up doing that, and then it's just
100%.
so many people are just going to be missing out on their like daily exercise, and it's just gonna I don't know if we're all just going to come out of quarantine with just a little bit of chub, and we're going to have to work in the summer just trying to get it off or whatever. But
yeah,
you
but
know,
I think that
got to try and do it.
yeah, but for me, like doing some form of exercise is so important just to like for like mental health and just for like I just end up feeling really cooped up and sort of like fidgety if I don't do anything for a few days.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So I think,
100%, I
and
get that.
maybe not for everyone, but like for me, I don't know if I didn't have the opportunity to do that, that would be bad.
Lucky,
I don't
yeah.
know. I'd struggle.
I mean, I haven't left the house in about a week now, and I feel vile.
Oh wow!
Like I have not left
Not
this
even. Have you
house.
been in the garden?
Yeah, but I have not
Okay.
left the house for a week. And I feel
Yeah.
like it does get to you. I can feel it, like you go a bit mental.
Yeah.
I don't
for
feel
sure.
100% myself. I don't feel like that. I'm not with myself at the moment.
It's one of the, it's just another one of the things, isn't it? It's another one of the side effects of being quarantined. Everyone's
Literally.
had so much impact on mental health, like, and I think Herbie might be able to like back me up here, but I think a lot of people in uni are especially been sort of talking about it, because with deadlines and stuff. So I don't know what it is, the situation with you, Herbie, but personally, like all my deadlines are still in place. Like I got a short extension, but everything's still going on. And I've not got exams, but I've got online exams. So like I've still got to be studying. Like I've still got the same amount, if not more, to like learn from home. And I feel a lot of people from my course and from my uni are starting to kick off. Like no one's taken into appreciation the mental toll of staying at home and not being able to go outside, not being able to have a rest or have a break, like is having on my work. I feel like a lot of people are really starting to feel the mental side of quarantine nowadays, just from one thing or the other, whether it's work or whether it's just purely being locked in a small room.
Yeah, I think like whatever they do, I mean, they haven't told us what they're doing about exams yet. They're supposed to tell us tomorrow, but whatever they do, there's going to be like a lot of people with very valid, like extenuating circumstances, whether that's somebody they know who's been sick, they've been sick, or like they don't even have a room in their house where they can like to themselves or whatever. There's so many reasons why people are going to be disadvantaged. And so I don't know, like it's tempting to say just cancel them. I don't know, like especially if you're not like in a third year or whatever, then I don't know. But
I talked to it. It was quite interesting. I talked to a professor, one of my professors, about it actually, and he said, so someone brought up the idea. They were like, you know, everyone, it's a pandemic. Like this isn't a thing that should be taken lightly. And they just said basically they were like, everyone should pass with the average of grades that they have in this year, just as a baseline, just pass like that. And he was just like, I understand where you're coming from, but don't you think that's going to devalue your degree? Like in a few years time, you're looking for a job and they see that you've got a first, and they're like, does this girl actually have the capacity to work at this level? Because they were just passed through the year. Like we don't know if they've been tested in the right ways. So you know, it's just one of those things you got to think about again.
but I think that Yeah, I think they are. Whatever happens, they are going to be devalued. Like whatever happens, I'm not going to be sitting proper exams. I'm going to be sitting some kind of like online long essay where I
Yeah.
can open book sort of stuff, right? So I don't know. And I feel, yeah, obviously it's going to be weird for employers. It's going to be weird for employers to have a load of kids that haven't done GCSEs or A levels.
Literally, or yeah,
Like,
literally, my younger sister just straight through A levels. That's mental.
That's
Mm.
insane.
You think about how much time. I feel like A levels is just such a huge part of my life, just
Mm.
non-stop studying for those three or four subjects, and now they've just like gone straight through. That's crazy.
Mm. And how are unis then going to decide who to let in if they've
Exactly.
got conditional offers and stuff? Like it makes it so
Yeah.
hard. So
And especially is the fact that that whole because obviously I think a lot of people expecting it to be based on their predicted grades, but
Mm.
then you think about how one college might handle predicted grades compared to another. Like there's literally there's no control there's no sort of like baseline for how the predicted grades are worked out. It's literally just whatever your teacher decides that you can do. Like I don't know how it was for you guys, but my teachers literally. So I've heard some of my mates say their teachers gave them whatever they said they wanted to get. So like they'd go up to their A level teacher, say, I want an A, and the teacher be like, okay, that's your predicted grade. Whereas for me, they literally they collated all of my averages from all of my tests from first and halfway through second year, and they were like, okay, this is your predicted grade. So it's just for something that's just not regulated at all. I feel like that's just going to cause so much chaos.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like, there's so many things that it's going to impact, but I feel like they have to play second place to, keeping deaths down and keeping people, safe and stuff. Like, but it does impact so many different in society in so many different ways. So many institutions are going to be affected by it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it changes the whole society, doesn't it? It changes everything. Changes
Yeah. But
people's lives
like
completely.
necessarily so, like that,
100%.
that's
Yeah.
the price we have to pay to try and limit what's happening. So it's a big faff, but it's sort of, it makes sense, I guess.
Yeah.
So you've got to see it.
Josh has been doing his daily run. Joe said all his exams are cancelled till September.
Really? See,
Yeah.
that's
Like delayed or
He
they
just
been
said he
postponed
said
or
mine are all cancelled. I
cancelled.
guess he means delayed. Yeah.
Well, what does that? So does that mean Joe's going to be sitting exams
When he goes back.
a week before he starts his next year? Like
Maybe, yeah. I don't think they know.
Like
It depends on how this
horrible.
lockdown is.
But that means he's also still going to have to like do some revisions. So what if like we get let out in June, and he's then going to have to be revising through the summer or whatever to do his exams in
Literally.
September? Like,
I
you
would
can't
not
win.
want
I don't
that.
know.
Yeah, no
Yeah.
online stuff apparently. He said no online stuff in summer.
See, that's total opposite to what mine's done. But I don't know which one I'd hate. I hate more. Like, it doesn't seem like there's any good sort of way out of this. There's no easy path at all.
Yeah.
I think one of the worst news though is Euro 2020 being delayed. I was really looking forward to that this summer. Oh.
Yeah.
Actual devastation, and not to mention the end of the Six Nations just swept under the rug.
Oh, is that? Yeah. What?
I didn't notice.
What's happening? Who won?
It's just
No one. It's just cancelled completely.
Postponed indefinitely. That's literally it. They haven't said anything about it really. Not that. Well, I haven't looked too hard, but basically the matches got cancelled. I think because they literally got cancelled last minute. Like a load of people kicked off because the last match was for Wales was Wales Scotland.
Yeah.
So there were loads of Scottish fans came to Cardiff. I was seeing them roaming about.
Yeah, of course.
During the day, and then I hear like in the early afternoon, like around lunchtime, just like we just get a little notification our game's off. Now these Scottish people just bought like hundreds of pounds worth of tickets.
Yeah.
They've taken the train down from Scotland like all the way, or they've flown in even, and now they've just been told they've got to go home.
Yeah.
I'd be livid.
Yeah, it's mate, the sport cancellation. Everyone's got there's no sport to keep people entertained now. It's pure just Netflix, Disney Plus, like Amazon Prime.
That's the thing. Like, if I was like self-isolating or stuck at home, the thing I would want to watch would be like the Olympics or the Euros or whatever. I feel like
literally
that's good. You could just sit there and just watch loads of it, and it'd be quite nice.
Yeah, something fresh as well.
Lost that.
Something new.
Yeah.
Something live at least. I think that I just want to watch something live.
Something
I
real.
feel like just watching all this stuff that's just obviously pre-recorded. Like, obviously it's not like a huge thing, but it just feels like it just feels more like the end of the world, because when nothing live is happening on, you're just thinking like, is the world still turning? Like, am I going mad? It
Yeah,
just
yeah.
feels a bit weird.
Mm.
Go
on, Span.
Just thinking. What are your predictions then for this lockdown? Because I've been talking to loads of people about this, and even the I think it was yesterday they did a little like announcement. Obviously Boris has got corona now, which is nuts. But expected the amount of times he shakes hands and stuff.
Yeah.
One of his, I don't know who was speaking. They were saying it was looking like a 12-week lockdown, which is on top, so 3 weeks and then 9 more weeks from here.
For real?
Yeah, and she was like pretty adamant about that.
Wait, who said that?
It was one of like the
this like the deputy chief medical
like
officer.
Yeah, because obviously
I think the other
medical
thing,
one's got corona as well.
The other thing that she said that was interesting, I think this might have been 2 days ago, was that like, and it's true, like they can't just suddenly take everything off and we go back to normal. Like it has to be like a gradual process. So whether that's, I don't know, they don't know what that looks like, but like it, you know, whether that's you can start going and congregating in groups of like 5 people or whatever, but not more. I don't know. Like it's just going to have to be like a staggered thing. And so like actually getting back to normal could be miles off. But I think just having some opportunities to like see people would be nice. I don't mind if it's not completely back to normal.
Yeah, I agree. Just being able to go outside and interact with other people, but you know, then you also got to entertain the idea that people won't listen to that. Like just some people just won't. They will take the ability that they've been given to go outside and legally be able to interact with people, and they'll just be like, oh, why not? Let's get everyone together and have a party. Like it is one of those things. It'll be like China, just like China's done. You know, they relax it. They realize how much it has worsened the numbers, so they bring it back again. It's just going to be this whole process of unrestricting, then restricting again.
Yeah, it may well be.
Restricting it unrestricting it massively, then we're all the way back here. I reckon it's just going to be this back and forth thing for like a good few months until we're fully over it. Like it's going to be a long time.
Yeah, here I've got the quote here. It says all of our efforts will be wasted if we end social distancing too early. It says over time, probably over the next 6 months, we'll have a 3-week review. So every 3 weeks we'll review it. And she just one of the doctors said it's just going to get worse and worse for the next couple of weeks as well.
I mean, yeah,
and you still got people not taking it seriously as well, which is just mind blowing.
Is it? You think though, like, is that going to get better? Is it going to get worse? Because I don't see these people who are already just disobeying it getting any better, when obviously they've got such an issue with staying inside that them staying inside even more isn't going to really make them want to follow the rules. It's just going to make them want to rebel more. But I don't know, like, what is the mindset of those people? That's what you need, Spen. We need an interview with someone who's socially rebelled.
Do you think?
It can be interesting to see their mindset, like whether they're one of those people who just don't believe it's a real thing, don't think it's that big a deal, just don't care that it's deadly, like whatever it is. I feel like there's got to be, everyone's got their one reason or something.
I just want to, someone said I want to go back to uni. Are you guys missing uni? Are you like?
Yeah.
Really?
I'm not gonna lie. Yeah.
What? Just the lifestyle, or just?
I miss the lifestyle. Yeah. Like, it's not, obviously it's nice being with family and knowing they're all right, but at the end of the day, you know, I'm 20 now. I'm feeling like I do want to live independently. I feel like I want my own space, and I just sort of thinking about it the other day. Like, I feel like me and my housemates, we would have been all right, just sort of, you know, self-isolating together. Like, it would have been a bit of a laugh, because I've got one of my mates who's doing that. So him and his housemates, none of them have gone home. They're just staying in the house. He seems to be having like a decent time, like, because obviously that they're all self-isolating, but you know, they can still drink, just chill out, play games together. Like, it's a nice thing. It's different to the sort of family quarantine where, you know, there's fights happening and it's stressful. And
yeah, literally.
Obviously, like, there's gonna be fights between friends as well, and like it will be stressful with friends, but I definitely miss it for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I was definitely like, by the end of term, I was ready for a holiday, but I didn't realize when I left that, well, I was sort of aware, but I didn't think, I thought maybe 10 would be delayed or whatever. I didn't realize it was going to be properly cancelled. Yeah, I don't know, it's a shame, because it's like, so it's the one term where you have like nice weather for a lot of the
Literally, yeah.
time, and it is also like my exam term, but because of that, people do, lots of stuff to like at the end of exams or whatever. So yeah, it is a shame, but like it's worse for all the third years who were thinking they'd have another term to like say goodbye and everything. Like they just that's
Yeah,
gone. Like so it could be worse. As a second year,
yeah,
I get
we're
another
not too
chance to
bad
do it. So
for
yeah.
sure. But then that's like the thing, like, will it? Like, I just keep thinking. You think, oh, is September enough? Like, is it enough?
Mm.
Are we gonna be able to just go back to uni and do like a freshers week as normal? Like, or is it gonna be some weird thing where we go back to our uni houses? We can't like interact outside of it. There's no lectures still. Like, I'm just
Yeah.
thinking, like, what is gonna happen?
Yeah. Who
Yeah,
knows?
that's
Might
the
just be
thing. Like after this, I feel like events and stuff are going to be a lot different for at least another 6 months after this ending.
no, 100%, mate. Like
Because even next winter as well is going to be a bit iffy.
because there's always going to be that problem of resurgence, isn't there? Like, it's so hard to completely kill it. It is just going to have to be those extra measures, like you said, 6 months of until we're back to
But
normal.
that's
Like,
a long
it seems
time.
like
That's
a
so
long
long.
time, but what else can you do? Like, it's not like this. It's not a thing that dies out after a day, is it? And it's not like
Yeah.
it's a group of 10 people. We've split them up and leave them away from each other for 10 days, and then they can regroup after 2 weeks because that's fine. It's a ridiculous number of people, and some of the cases are delayed. Some of them aren't. Like, people are going to get it, and that's the whole problem with it, isn't it? You can't really tell. You can't measure it, so you've got to go to those extremes to just contain it realistically.
Hmm. Have you guys been having like web lectures on Zoom as well, like other unis?
No, go on.
I was just gonna. I think I have. I'm not gonna lie. I've just not been doing. I've got so much coursework at the moment, and as soon as I got home, I don't know. It's just sort of just the idea of uni, just sort of just whoosh. Like, I'm doing my coursework, but just keeping up with lectures and stuff like that, I don't know. It's a bit of a step too far, but I think that's the idea. That's what they're doing. I've seen like a few different things like Microsoft Teams for some stuff as well.
Really?
So I've been doing some like I've been getting some work via Microsoft Teams. So like group channels, just sort of talking about a certain subject, that sort of thing. But yeah, I think it's just varied. I don't know what Herbie's doing.
Yeah, no, I mean, we're not supposed to be back for 2 weeks or something. So they've said there'll be online teaching, but I'm sure there will be.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
they haven't got to that point yet, so I can't say.
Also,
But
webcam classes
be
don't
odd.
cut it. Delays and people with poor equipment need to see people face to face. People like me who need that structure of showing up to class are not having a great time sorting out their own schedule. Yeah, I
Yeah.
Who
get
said
that.
that?
Dan, one of my mates.
100%.
Yeah, I agree, man. There's some people. I feel like there's just no motivation to learn, and there's no it's just such a secondary thought when you just sat at home and you open up a tab and you listen to your lecturer bang on. Like, when you're in a lecture, you're forced to listen. You have to learn. Like, you've got to take the notes. But when you're sat at home, there's too many distractions, too many alternatives. Like, it goes beyond just saying, oh, you've clearly just not got the mindset to learn. It's just the fact that there's just not enough. It's just not organized enough. Like, obviously you got to understand that it's a new thing, but it's such just the whole mobile learning thing is just such a strange thing to have to get used to, and I'm really not a fan of it at all.
It's going to be weird for all of us to trying to make some structure out of our days. So like every day, there's no reason why I should have to get up before like midday. There's no, I don't have. It's not like I know I'm going away or I'm going out or whatever. Like every day essentially is the same, and so you have to sort of try and make your own structure. But that's so much harder than when you're at uni or when
Yeah,
you can go and see your mates or take a weekend off or whatever. Like it just makes it so much harder to try and like plan when you're going to do stuff and to use your day well. And I don't know, like it's just really hard for
yeah.
everyone.
All the time's just blurring, isn't it? Just
I think I'm doing quite a good job with that because I'm waking up at like 6, 7 a.m. every day, just keeping to that schedule. It's really good.
Really?
Yeah. Because I'm doing like trading and stuff, aren't I? And trading right now
What time?
is so easy because the markets are just like fucked. Like
What time are you going to sleep right now?
what 11, 12.
Damn. Okay.
It's just to keep a good schedule, isn't it? So I wake up like 6, 7, do some training for like 5 hours, and then just whatever I want.
5 hours.
Nah,
Yeah.
Man.
wow.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay,
Wow.
wow.
Because since this has started, this is a bad thing. Like since it started, I've actually been gaining profits, which is probably bad. Like people
Nah,
are
man.
dying, but I'm getting profits.
Make the best of a
No,
bad
of course, yeah.
situation.
But yeah, that's one way I'm keeping structure. I'm
Mm.
also trying to just making sure I get my fitness every day. I always try and push that. Obviously,
What
daily
about
shower.
what about eating? Because obviously, like, you know, with such restricted
Oh,
diet,
don't get me started.
yeah, what's the diet like for you
I'm not even
guys?
allowed to eat snacks anymore. I'm not allowed anything. Like,
Are you really not? Is
I'm
it
on a
strict?
strict, yeah. Like,
What? So is this
so every
enforced by
day for like
you
the
or your
last 2 weeks,
parents?
2 eggs and toast. That's breakfast every day for the last 2 weeks. There's no
What?
cereal. There's no cereal on the shelves apparently, so I can't have any.
Oh,
Lunch,
really?
I'm not allowed to eat like a snack before lunch. It's lunch only, and it's like
Oh my
a pack of
god.
sausage rolls or like I don't know, some pasta or something. Dinner, pasta again, and that's it.
You're gonna be skinny by the end of this.
This is what I
Yeah.
mean. But I am taking my protein shake. I don't even have it with me, but I've got like a protein shake every day. I
Mm.
take.
You gotta try and get the calories in, mate. Make sure you're not in that deficiency.
No, I think I'm alright.
Tricky.
I mean, I
It's
do go to
tricky
bed
though, isn't it?
hungry, but it's fine.
Aw.
It's rough times, isn't it? It's not like
Yeah.
it's not that we don't have any money to buy food. It's the fact that we don't have any food to buy. There's nothing there.
Yeah.
So
Where is that?
just-
Is that what Morrison's in town? Or
yeah.
something?
So
What?
but when Morris's, with Tesco's as well. There's been hour queues as well because they're only allowing certain people in, like a certain
Yeah.
number of people. So Big Rich is he's been waiting a long time to go shopping, takes
Wow.
him ages, and you can find certain things.
Mm.
it's pretty crazy. That's the situation now, isn't it?
It
Mm.
is scary, but it's also a lot of job opportunities as well. If you want to get some jobs at the supermarket.
Yeah. If you
High
want to be a
risk of
chef
corona.
stacker,
Yeah, high risk of corona.
yeah.
Like
My dad
£9
sent
an
me a
hour.
link for it. He was just like, "Oh, here you go," and I was just like, "Yeah, good joke, mate."
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
only like 20% turn up to lectures apparently.
20 what?
Apparently only 20% turn up to lectures.
Yeah,
What,
that sounds
online
quite
ones?
Yeah,
accurate.
online ones. Yeah.
Alright.
Yeah, I'd buy that.
Just how the weather.
Yeah.
Yeah, literally, the weather's turned pretty good since we started staying aside as well. Since
That
what,
was
last,
annoying.
as
Yeah.
soon as it started getting really sunny.
To be fair, today it was quite cold today, but there was that
Yeah.
week where it was just like wall to wall
That was last
sunshine
week,
for
yeah.
like 6
Yep.
days.
Oh,
And it's
that was
just
beaut.
yeah.
Just stuck
Well,
inside, just stuck in the garden,
looking
just
out.
looking at it. Like,
Yeah.
could be playing footy, but
Mm.
That's what. Yeah, that's going back to like the family vibe. It's quite. I'm enjoying it, but I think I'm like a bit too sick of it. Like you've had too much in a way. That sounds rude.
yeah.
Obviously, I'm really appreciative of it, but
Nah,
there's
no, I
like
agree.
things that get on your nerves a bit, and then once you live with them for so long, like you guys go uni, I don't. So when you're living with them every day, and you're living with them constantly, like they don't leave the house, they're obviously with me the whole time. There's just little things that get on your nerves, and over time, just like that's why I would prefer like a sort of friend's house at the moment. That'd be so much better.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Like, just about the whole uni thing.
So
It
much
feels,
better.
especially when you're used to just living by yourself, like working on your own timeline and your own schedules, just and then coming back and your family. Like, obviously, like, I get my dinner's made for me. Like, that's beaut. I can't
Yeah.
complain, and I'm not paying for food.
True. That's true. Same
Like,
for me.
Yeah.
that is a massive plus, but I do quite like being in control of it in a lot of the ways, and also just being able to have your own time for yourself without having to make excuses. Like, that's quite an invaluable thing, especially in this sort of time. Just being able to go, like, but then I'm quite lucky also because I could just go to my room and then I could just call up one of you guys or just get on TeamSpeak and then talk to the boys. Like, it's quite easy, we're quite connected, so it's not as bad as it could be for some
Exactly. Yeah.
Mm.
that might not be able to just sort of do that. But that's why there's been that huge influx of people just using Skype, using Zoom, using House Party, just crazy numbers of people just trying to get connected in some way or the other.
Mm. Yeah. It makes you think, like, I mean, going back to the social media / technology thing,
Yeah.
like we are fortunate in that we can do that. Like,
Yeah.
you know,
Very fortunate.
back in the day, like you could send letters to each other or something. I mean, that would be the extent
Yeah.
of your communication outside your family or whoever you're living with. So yeah, we should be grateful. But obviously, I don't know, like having a conversation, I find on Zoom or whatever is never quite the same as in
Of course
person.
not, yeah.
You just can't bounce off each other in the same way that you can
Yeah,
in person. I don't know.
everyone's just going to be complete and utter bliss. Seeing someone's face in real life, seeing your mate's face in real life after 3 months or something, just be like, oh, mate, it's going to be golden. Everyone's
Yeah.
gonna be getting mental.
Something to look forward to.
Yeah, 100%. You got to have something to look forward to in these sorts of times, don't you?
No, definitely.
There's gonna be some absolutely ridiculously sized piss ups to come for sure.
That's why I was there. Oh, I can't wait for that.
Yeah.
Just to wrap off as well. I can't wait for just like when this is all over. That's gonna be. I'm just hoping it's not too late, like summer wise, as in the
I'd
weather.
love to, yeah, if we made like the end of the summer, that'd be amazing.
Yeah.
Even if it was just
like August.
like, as I said, it doesn't have to be completely back to normal, but just having some opportunities to like see people.
See
in the
people,
sun
exactly, yeah.
would be nice, but I can't count on it. I don't know.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
another peak thing for me was I was actually gonna DJ at the SU, Farnham SU. I
Oh,
went.
yeah,
I went.
Oh,
man.
yeah.
I
remember
literally
you saying.
went. I went to look it all up, and then that's when like Corona started getting really bad. I went in. I even went into the SU.
Hey, can't you just do a set, live stream a set?
That's what I was
That'd be good.
yeah. So today I
Honestly,
got
I'd watch
followed
it.
by got followed by a UCA sort of page doing like live stream DJ and stuff. So I'm gonna see if I can get involved with that.
That'd be cool.
I think that'll be a bit of fun. I think
Yeah.
it'll work.
sure.
Yeah.
I might have to buy myself his pair of
Oh,
set
ye-
of decks.
I will give you these ones. They're down there. They're yours.
Wait,
Finn, they're yours.
wait, have you got
I'm
the
gonna- No, I'm gonna buy them soon. Well, I'm getting paid. I may as well buy them like real soon.
Yeah,
I'm probably gonna buy in May, like at this rate.
yeah, that's sick. It's just we've got to start thinking of something, some hobby. Just I want to come out with a new skill, you know.
Mm.
Oh yeah.
If I can't come out speaking Mandarin, then I want to come out at least being able to DJ. Like,
literally,
you
yeah.
want to be able to do something.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, it's been an hour and a half, or actually a bit under. Like an hour and 10 probably.
Wait,
Wow.
time flies, mate. Time flies.
That's good, boys. That was good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Thanks for
that was
coming on.
good chats.
That's
Oh,
right.
thank you,
You're-
Spencer.
I hope you're all doing
Thanks for
wonderful.
having us.
No worries.
Yeah. No, stay safe, everyone.
Yep.
Yeah. Hope
Stay well.
everyone's stay safe, stay isolated, and keep yourself happy.
And if you get bored,
Yeah.
just give us a ring.
Oh, obviously. Join the podcast. Get Joe on
Yeah.
it. Get anyone on it.
Yeah, we'll get. Who's on next? We'll see.
All
All right. Cheers, boys.
Alright, cool.
I'm
Alright,
gonna head to
good
bed
see
soon.
you.
I'll
Yeah,
see you
no,
guys later.
lads.
In a
Enjoy
bit,
your
in a bit.
trading in the morning, mate.
I
Enjoy.
will do. I'll Snapchat you in the morning at 6.
You better.
In a bit.
Nice in a bit.
See you later.